then another thing is, at the moment I was really obsessed with YouTube, which is the videos were recorded in like August 2018, which was like a month or two after I had created the first drawing of Astrocat. And the funny thing is that the Astrocat thing, he was created as like my ambitious side. Like I wanted him to be like a brand. I wanted him to be like a stand for extreme quality that you didn't even realize it was even possible. I had a lot of thoughts about the way YouTube was starting to become more company oriented, just taking away the attention from the individuals, just favoring quantity over quality, starting to just become this cynical, clickbaity, soulless type of thing. Because what inspired me about YouTube is that anybody who had a camera had the chance to find a massive audience and become something like, just break the whole structure or like system you had to go through to be seen by people, and like just develop such a massive audience, right? And I was really fired up about it. I said, you know what, I'm going to represent my country. I'm going to represent my interests, my type of person, and I wanted to make these sort of videos that criticized other channels and just proving that it could be done better by making the actual critique video or parody video higher quality than the product that was being criticized, like the subject matter. And yeah, so that's where channels like Nerd City were driving it forward. I was watching a lot of pyrocynical items and from the Filthy Frank era, and I was feeling people were too family friendly and all that, so I made the Troom criticism channel, like, videos. So yeah, I liked the idea of being able to stand up for my opinions and being unapologetic in a constructive way, because I never really allowed myself to step along against the opinions of others, because I knew I didn't like the feeling of being trampled, so I was afraid that by being like that, like being more uh, pushing or something, I was going to do the same on others. So I never criticized anything. I always tried to be the bigger guy and always find a justification for the actions of others or the opinions of others, but never giving myself the same spotlight or the same level of authority, right? Which has taken a while, but right now I'm like maybe 75% of the way when to having the same authority of your average person, I guess. I've just improved, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not still like the most confident person in the world, of course, by any means, but I've grown a lot since then. What I think is interesting is that right now my obsession is developing this world, this series, this everything, when back then I was obsessed with YouTube. And I think the reason I even stepped into animation here, man, I have a clocked nose. The reason I stepped into animation is because while I was browsing YouTube, just finding the best channels I could find and drag inspiration from them, I found that animation just made the thing look so much more well produced, like for some reason. And I was also browsing a lot of these animation memes, and I loved them, like just animating over music and making your identifiable character stand out against all the others, because they had so much soul and so much impact, and they spoke about the person behind them. I really liked being able to like see the person through that, and like it was like a strong brand, not a brand. I just not necessarily for making money. It's more like, yeah, it's this guy, it's this thing, it's this all aesthetic, it's this drive. And I definitely haven't abandoned it. I think I'm taking a lot of that sort of social media obsession era of me into the future, because I think that even if people know me as a writer or whatever in the future, I'm still gonna give the care into the presentation of yourself in these mediums. They're media, still, they're part of your writing, they're part of your world, they're part of what you're saying and telling about yourself. You still have a level of control, not of faking who you are, but more like doing justice to what you can do for others, right? And so people can know what you're all really about. You don't have to make it exceptional or like lie. It's more taking the things that you already do and just showing the awesomeness that's already in you, right? So I'm gonna do that anyway, and I guess it's just giving more mediums where I could potentially land something cool. Astro Cat is still pretty much the same character. And here I just noticed something. I really don't draw, of course. I just said it in many other videos. Astro Cat is actually based upon an animation meme character that had a ribbon in one of its ears, and it has the big ears, boxy hands, and thick eyebrows, and the shape of the face is exactly the same. And at the moment I didn't know if it was like a fox or a cat or whatever, but I couldn't find a single one like of the links towards that creator right now. To this day, I have not found who the original creator of that character is. And I said, you know what? I love this character design so much that I just drew my rendition of it at first, and it was slightly different, but still clearly inspired by it. And I said, I'm gonna develop him to the point where he's truly mine. And I think he's close to it because it's still the core things: big triangular ears, circle eyes, big eyebrows, two stripes on beneath each eye, and the sort of little cheeky face, and the overall body shape. Yeah, it's still the same, but I've actually come up with something since then.